Hello everyone, on this episode of Kindred Spirits, Animal Games. Produced as a promotional in 1983 for the Atari 2600, Chase the Chuck Wagon is a maze game based loosely on the TV commercials of the same era. It was available only through mailing in of the proofs of purchases found on Purina dog foods. Gameplay consists of a simple maze and a couple of basic obstacles. There is a dog catcher, wandering aimlessly around the maze, offering very little challenge to the player. A bouncy thing wails on the outer walls of the maze, following a fixed pattern on each level. It is the only real threat, and at times can be quite the pest. Each time you are struck, Chuck will pause for a brief moment. With each additional hit, the pause lasts a little longer, with the pause duration being a global variable. New mazes do not reset the timer. Each new stage has faster obstacles. It is possible, with a bit of bad luck, to be pinned in place on later mazes. Scoring is based on how much time remains after completing the stage, and if you are lucky enough, and we do mean lucky, to score on the bonus stage. Atari graphics were never much to write home about, and this release is no exception. Graphics are limited to a basic one-color maze on a black background, a pixelated white dog, a random graining opaque item playing pong with the walls, and a mini stick figure loping around the maze. The only items of less than bland quality are the Chuck Wagon itself, boasting 3 whole colors with flashy effects, and the bonus stage dog bowl, which resembles the nightmares of 1950s UFOs. Sounds are of the stock Atari variety. While clean, they are quite generic. There is no stage music or bonus music. Being a promotional game, Chase the Chuck Wagon has an odd place in gaming history. It was developed as a gimmick game, one that encouraged the buying of other products. As a standalone game, it is uninspired and would likely have performed poorly in the retail market. Designed in 1984 by Sega for arcades, Flicky is a platform side-scroller developed for use with the Bally Midway replaceable ROM conversion kit called Six Pack. You are Flicky, a wise old bird who knows what to do when the little chirps escape the nest. Your job is to round up the chicks and take them back to the nest while avoiding dangerous cats prowling the stage. Flower pots, horns, and hammers lay around the stage, useful for flicking at cats when needed. Gameplay consists of running and jumping around the stage while trying to escort the chirps back to the nest. Simply get close enough to the chick and it will follow. Be careful, as a cat can knock the chirps off your trail if they touch any of the chirps, so having a long trail of the little birdies can be a hazard. Flicking objects at cats can be a bit of a challenge, as the jump and flick button are the same. Controlling Flicky is easy and smooth, and there are no gotcha game mechanics. Cats are simple-minded and seem to prowl at random. Score is based on the number of chirps saved, time bonuses, and how many filthy cats were given the flick. Graphics are bright and colorful, with a simple yet pleasing palette. Animations, while not complicated, are smooth. Stages are based on the same general design, with mild changes to platform textures and background images. Sound effects are of the classic arcade variety, with clear, simple clips to denote actions, motions, successes, and failures. There is only one stage music score, which is upbeat and easy on the ears even during long play sessions. The bonus stage has its own music score, giving a sense of urgency to save all the little chirps being catapulted by the dirty cats. Flicky is a basic arcade platform game. Animations, textures, and sounds, while well done, are on the simple side of arcade possibilities. Our guess is this is due to the limitations of Bally Midway arcade ROM systems. The intention was to allow arcade cabinet owners the option of a low-cost package to change the ROMs instead of purchasing a whole new cabinet. While novel, and indeed a cost-saving system, such a universal approach inevitably has drawbacks. Released in 1982 by Mattel Electronics for the Atari 2600, Frogs and Flies is an adaptation of Frog Bog, which was an earlier release for the Intellivision. Frogs and Flies is a competition between two frogs, one being you and the other a choice between the CPU or another player. There is only one stage, consisting of two lily pads in a pond with flies passing overhead. The frog who catches the most flies in 3 minutes wins. Gameplay is rather dull. Normal mode has the game on rails. Don't even try for strategy, just keep jumping, flick tongue, and pray for a fly. Hard mode allows more flexibility in frog control, increasing the need for tactics, but only a little. The two difficulty modes should be renamed Small Child and Less Small Child. What can we say about the graphics other than yawn? Although the Atari 2600 has a very limited palette and a marginal processing power, other games have shown much more ambition. Sounds are paltry and horribly basic. There is no level music, no sense of tension, nothing other than a few generic blips. Of all the Atari games we have played to this point, Frogs and Flies wins the most basic award. Even Chase the Chuck Wagon has more sophistication. Developed by the Almanic Corporation, E.V.O. Search of Eden is a side-scrolling action-adventure game released to the US market in 1993 for the Super Nintendo. In E.V.O., you are a fish being guided by Gaia, the daughter of the sun, to evolve and become stronger in the hope that one day you can join Gaia in Eden. You must eat or be eaten, and choose the best path to evolve. There are 4 epochs to master, with each stage being a major change in evolution. Hints and boosts are hidden along the journey. Become an evolved human, and you can be with Gaia. The concepts and goals of the game are a compelling reason to pick up the controller and give it a go. Most of your time is spent eating other creatures. When you defeat a target, a ham, complete with bone, will appear that, when consumed, will give you evolution points. These points are used to improve aspects of your body, such as stronger jaws or more agile fins. Evolving is more complicated than just using the biggest choice, since there are penalties for other traits as you choose more expensive options. Boss fights appear at the end of each epoch. You must tune your evolution with the correct balance, or bosses will easily run you over. Controls are heavy and awkward, making combat a hit-or-miss situation. The single combo attack of the game takes more luck than skill. At first glance, one could be forgiven for thinking that you just mistakenly inserted a Final Fantasy cartridge. The menu styles are a dead ringer for the Final Fantasy genre. Graphics are pleasing, though rather simplistic. For some odd reason, the frame rate will drop dramatically with just a few sprites on screen, which makes gameplay sluggish and difficult. After a few moments of gameplay, it quickly becomes apparent that this title is a grind. Most of the game is simply eating other creatures, with variations on strategy to shovel them into your mouth. The only compelling reason to play this game is to see what the evolution options are. Most of your time will be spent gobbling the same few creatures over and over, tuning your evolution, then hurling yourself at the level end boss over and over. This title suffers from a lack of variety, both in level complexity and creatures to encounter. We give this title a C-, maybe a strong D+. Developed for the Amiga in 1992 by Imagitech Design, The Humans is first in a puzzle platform game trilogy that has seen ports to many systems, including PCs, Atari Lynx, and the Super Nintendo. For this review, we will focus on the Sega Genesis release. In The Humans, you are a Stone Age tribe trying to combine your members in an effort to solve a variety of puzzles. Each stage has an objective and requires a minimum number of tribesmen to complete, as well as varying tools and strategies. Nothing carries over from each level, other than the number of tribesmen you have, as well as any new members added during the previous level. The goal is to prove your worth as a species, conquer the challenges, or lose to the apes in evolution. Gameplay is heavily tuned for strategy, not action. You're in control of all the cavemen on the screen, with the ability to swap control with the press of a button. There are few actions other than use item, throw, brandish, which is a novel idea, and hands up high, where you act like a stepladder. The goals are simple and usually one per level. More members are added to the tribe each time a new caveman is found. Every time you die, one member of your tribe is lost. If you do not have enough tribesmen to finish your goal, you lose. You have the option to restart any level when you think it's impossible to finish, or can use a code to begin again if you turn off the console. While the puzzles are fairly simple, one must use deductive reasoning and have the ability to think several steps ahead. Textures and scenery are clearly of the early 90s computer era. While not really bad, they certainly do not show off the graphics horsepower of the Genesis console. Sprites appear cut out from the scenes and have low animation frame count, which makes the objects seem clunky. Sound effects are few and far between, mostly consisting of beeps and bloops. There is a title soundtrack, which is upbeat and pleasing, but you will only hear it on the title screen. One other soundtrack plays during the explanatory stage between levels, giving you a sense of prehistoric drums. Like the title track, it is mildly repetitious but well done. Every level completely lacks a soundtrack, which is disappointing and takes away from the game experience. The Humans is a welcome departure from the usual shoot-'em-up or blast-through game mechanics. It emphasizes strategy and puzzle solving in a fun way, though sometimes levels can be a bit tedious. While not polished, and after some time getting used to it, The Humans is a great title that is both a challenge and a change of pace from mainstream titles. If you like this video, please consider smashing the like button and jump kicking this channel into submission. That's kind of violent. Give me a second. I wrote wanting to